Described as one of the success stories in Nigeria and the African region, the fintech industry has evolved as a catalyst for investments, skills development, and the expansion of the digital economy. Understanding the value of strengthening the industry's ecosystem, the Fintech Association of Nigeria, in collaboration with its partners, convened the 2024 edition of the Nigeria Fintech Week to discuss positioning Africa's fintech ecosystem that accelerates inclusive growth. In his opening remarks, the president of the association, Mr. Ade Bajomo, described the 2024 edition as an opportunity to explore how fintech can be leveraged as a tool for socio-economic development.
This seventh edition of Nigeria Fintech Week promises to be no different and is an opportunity to showcase new thinking, solutions, and products by the ecosystem. The theme for this year, positioning Africa's fintech ecosystem to accelerate inclusive growth, is relevant to us in Africa as growth is non-negotiable if we're going to achieve our financial inclusion and sustainable development goals. Though we're facing a period of investment drought and cost of living challenges, we must stay focused on our goals to leverage fintech as a tool for socio-economic development and exploit every opportunity that innovation, technology, and leadership can deliver to improve our governance, processes, and scale.
In his keynote address, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, stressed the importance of smart regulations and a fintech ecosystem that unlocks economic opportunities in the country.
The journey toward a more inclusive and African fintech ecosystem requires collaboration across all sectors. Beyond regulation, governments can promote fintech through initiatives like digital infrastructure development, public-private sector partnerships, or educational programs to build digital skills in fintech. I urge fintech innovators to continue developing solutions that address Africa's unique challenges, particularly in the areas of financial inclusion, access to capital, and wealth creation for underserved populations. I also know that by providing an enabling environment, Nigeria will be exporting fintech skills globally and will be a place of note every day. For regulators across Africa, I emphasize the importance of harmonizing our regulatory approaches. A fragmented regulatory landscape hampers the growth of fintech by creating unnecessary barriers to entry and cross-border collaboration. Let us work together to establish common frameworks that support innovation while ensuring market stability. For investors and financial institutions, the opportunities presented by fintech are immense. I encourage you to actively participate in this transformation by supporting fintech innovations that drive social impact and inclusive growth. Lastly, civil society, academia, and other key stakeholders play a crucial role in educating the public about fintech innovations and ensuring that these technologies are understood, accessible, and used responsibly. I must stress that we need to build digital literacy and financial education, particularly for the populations benefiting from fintech. This will help ensure that inclusive growth is sustainable.
Delivering their goodwill messages, government dignitaries and members of the diplomatic corps lauded the Nigerian fintech ecosystem for setting the pace in Africa and highlighted other areas for growth. The event featured conversations on the future of digital payments, an exhibition tour, a fireside chat on Africa's tech in the age of artificial intelligence, product pitches, a panel session on prioritizing profitability and cash flow in African fintech startups, and workshops on enhancing growth and sustainability in African startups through corporate governance. Dr. Emomotimi Agama, Dr. Babatunde Obrima, Chief Operating Officer, Fintech Association of Nigeria, Mr. Ni Toluwalope, MD CEO of eTransact, and Mr. Roger Wakoven, Independent Creative Director at OpenAI, speak further on the critical issues around fintech and inclusive economic growth.
Practically speaking, fintech is an enabler. And once you find an enabler, it provides opportunities. So fintech, in my own understanding and by my view as a regulator, is actually the basic foundation for growth. And the fintechs in Nigeria are doing just that. The only problem is finding a way to coordinate them. I believe strongly that fintech is the next big thing to happen in Nigeria, if not already happening.
We're talking about economic growth, and it's important to drive it. So one of the things we've tried to do in this country is achieve financial inclusion. The growth has been very minimal, and that's because we haven't addressed a major issue, which is economic inclusion. So there has to be economic inclusion before financial inclusion. Let me give you a clear example. During the Anchor Borrower program of the central bank, a lot of farmers were included, right? Now that that program has been jettisoned, you're likely to have a lot of dormant accounts because the economic inclusion is not sustainable. So there has to be economic inclusion that is sustainable for financial inclusion itself to be sustainable and for us to reach those targets. So that's what we're talking about. What are the things that are important for economic inclusion, economic growth? And then we can layer financial inclusion on top of that. I mean, a fintech will not go to a rural area where there's no power, there's no data, we're in this business to make profit. So all those things, what are things that form economic growth, that are important for financial inclusion to occur?
One of the specific areas we need to really look into is how to bring in those that are unbanked and underbanked and make them inclusive by creating products and solutions that solve their problems. Because fintech in this region, fintech in Nigeria today, has evolved astronomically because the great minds like ours, the collaboration we've seen over the years has brought us together to understand and identify the problems we have and build solutions to digitize and automate the opportunities we see, thereby solving all the payment type problems we are facing in this part of the world. I think it has been very impactful, and we can see how efficient and effective it has been thus far.
I think the outlook for fintech beyond 2025 is good if fintech invests also with more guts, dares to invest with more experiments, dare to invest in outside the fintech as well in the startups. Because my vision for fintech that only invests in fintech and stays there, tries to optimize, then you're just optimizing a technology. You're optimizing an industry, and the revenues will not be that exponential, and a lot of competition is there. So just optimizing fintech, those who only optimize in the nearby future and beyond, they will be small companies. And the ones that invest outside, they will have a promising future and consolidate more. The fragmentation is also not good for the industry, not good for the country. So also consolidating together, building bigger blocks with bigger money to invest outside of fintech.
It was a robust opening day session at the 2024 Nigeria Fintech Week, and the significant takeaway is the need for synergy between policies, regulations, adoption of emerging technologies, innovative products, enhancing skills and investments in the enabling digital infrastructure to foster growth, stability, and sustainability of the fintech ecosystem in Nigeria and Africa.